in a few minutes. And so we are live here, ladies and gentlemen. And so we are live. Georgia gets the ball first here. So we are live. Georgia gets the ball first here. All right. Glad to have each and every one of you watching around the world. And so this is a battle of unbeatens here as number 13 Alabama takes on number 19 Georgia. And it's crazy to think how many people think that Indiana could potentially repeat, or that Texas Tech could win their first national championship. But the heavy favorite, I've been listening to all the sports broadcasters, is that Dante Moore and the Oregon Ducks could win it all. With Dante coming back, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, Oregon's always been the bridesmaids when it comes to the national championship in college football. And Georgia's quarterback goes down, sacked by this Alabama defense. Max Bauman, the senior from Maryland, 42 solo tackles, 9 sacks per game, and 18 tackles for loss in his 4-year career here with Alabama. We are in Athens, Georgia for this unbeaten contest, and Pot's going to try and move here, and that's going to be the third sack of the game thus far. Tiffin with the sack, and this Alabama defensive front is feasting on this Georgia offensive line. I'm your host, John Breakdown. What the hell are you? There was a strange bug on my phone. I'm going to get a wipe. I just killed it. I crushed it. So, strange bug on my phone. And so Alabama's going to get it to the Georgia 38. And I'm hoping that College Football 27 doesn't cost so much. It seems like every year they're raising the prices for these games to where poor folk like myself and others can't afford it. And so now Alabama going to come out with the running game here. James Woods, the running back. 14-yard game from the senior from Louisiana. And now Sean Sharp, the quarterback from Roanoke, Virginia, a junior, going to throw it to his running back, David Browning. So junior to junior. And Alabama takes a quick score here against Georgia. 2 plays, 38 yards, 19 seconds to score. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining me, earlier tonight, my Atlanta Braves beat the Toronto Blue Jays. In 2K24, this show. And beautiful throw there by Potts, but Georgia is going to be tackled for a loss there. Number 85 could not get back to the line of scrimmage, so it's going to be 2nd and 11. And now Ramseur. We're going to see what Georgia's going to do. Georgia's going to try and run the ball, which Georgia has not had a good running back since Todd Gurley and Herschel Walker. Or did Gurley play for Auburn? I can't remember. And our quarterback scrambling now. And 4th and 8, Sean Potts, the quarterback for Georgia, just not being able to get anything done. And so now Georgia going to punt now. And now, here we go. Alabama going to be in the I formation now. Sharp going to throw. That's going to be deflected. And 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. And they're going to give it to the running back, David Browning, junior to junior, and Alabama plows through that Georgia defensive line. And beautiful throw there by Sharp to Lincoln. But Sean Sharp heard footsteps. That Georgia pass rush is nothing to joke about. And there you see below your screen, Tennessee winning big. And here's what I'm kind of mad about. So I was the former coach of Troy in this game, just got hired by Alabama, and their senior class, I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose their entire senior class, that offensive line, that wide receiver core. The only two staples of my offense that's going to be back if they don't go to the NFL draft is Sean Sharp and David Browning, the quarterback and running back, respectively. So we shall find out. If they stay. And with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the first quarter, Alabama leads 14 to nothing. Let's not get ahead of ourselves now. It's not like I'm going to score 40 on Georgia. Let's be real here. And Georgia coming with the running game again. And they get a yard. And now Georgia's got kind of man-on-man coverage here. Oh, he almost threw an interception there. And Casper almost had an interception. That ball should have been picked off. And now, again, Georgia double-teaming Burt now. Potts going to try and run to the outside. He did not see Ramseur. And the tide is rolling here in Athens, Georgia. Gio Ramseur, I mean, he was basically unchecked there, and he got that sack. Sean Potts was going to try and scramble. And what's up, Brooklyn Joker? Glad to have you on, man. Big shout out to the Brooklyn Joker, ladies and gentlemen. Click like and sub to my good friend Brooklyn Joker on his YouTube. Joker, I'm a little sad. I lost a subscriber. I'm now down to 375 subscribers. Don't know who I pissed off. Maybe it was Matt Storm or someone, but I lost a sub. So here we go now. And look at number 19. Number 19 basically unguarded. And Riviero getting in for his first touchdown of the ball game. I mean, 19 was just unchecked and uncovered. And David Riviero, beautiful catch there by him. I mean, look at that. He's basically unguarded. They lost the tight end on the play. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, click like and sub to the Brooklyn Joker. By the way, the Brooklyn Joker will be in action in JBCW. He'll be facing Jesse Jackamer for the Intercontinental Championship, along with Justin Lightning. That's going to be a triple threat match. I've changed that matchup. And now Alabama dominating Georgia right now. Georgia can't seem to get anything going offensively. Still there. Who's your favorite college football team? I pose that question to the listening audience. And now Rams are going to try and get down now. Potts going to try and scramble. And Potts going to use his legs, making him a dual threat there. And there you see Houston beating Temple. Georgia changing the play now. And 2nd and 10. And so there you see Georgia calling some audibles. But again, Sean Potts, that offensive line for Georgia, not being able to get the pass protection for Potts to get the ball off. Gio Ramsford just recorded his 20th career sack. And it's now 3rd and 17 now, 1:20 something left to go here in the first quarter. Clemson beating FCS Midwest 49-7 at the bottom of your screen. Also, big shout to the captain, Mad Martin. And Alabama going to call for it. And so now here we go. Once again, I formation. Oh, and Browning. I think Browning didn't understand the play. So now we're going to go to the wishbone offense. As that's the first negative play for Alabama. 2nd and 14. There's a flag on the play. That may have been holding or an ineligible wide receiver. So Alabama shooting itself in the foot here. Yep, that's the center, Tony Velasquez. And Browning trying to get something going. 3rd and 15. And this Georgia defense has stepped up where its offense has failed. And interception by Georgia. And like I said, Georgia's nothing to really talk trash about. They're an excellent football team. And Lane Burks, the junior from Kentucky for the Bulldogs, picking off Sean Sharp. And so first time today, Georgia is at the 49 of Alabama. Can they get on the scoreboard here? And holding. And now Sean Potts going to try and make a humongous play, but there's holding on Georgia. That's going to be coming back. And so 1st and 20 on their own 39-yard line. 10 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. And Alabama is coming with that blitz. 2nd and 21. And so we've reached the end of the first quarter. Alabama leads Georgia 21-0 here. And Georgia has dominated the time of possession. Neither team's had a 3rd down conversion. 3 quarters to go here in Athens, Georgia. And there you see Sean Sharp leads the passing touchdown so far in this young season. And now Potts again going to try and use his legs. And Georgia 3rd and 2. They're coming back now. And I think Sean Potts, the quarterback for Georgia, is settling down now. He's going to hand it off to his running back, and Georgia gets its first third down conversion of the ball game. And Jacques Bryant starting to carve up this Alabama defense. And again, Jacques Bryant going to run up. Second and 8 now. Georgia's moving. And third and inches. I don't know if he got it. And Georgia now, they're going to try and score here. Fourth and inches. Will Georgia go for it? They're going to go for the field goal. And Georgia finally gets on the scoreboard with a field goal. And down at the bottom of your screen, Fresno State and Kansas are tied 7-7. And now Alabama gets the ball back now. They're going to hand it to Browning. Browning's going to basically get a free lane here. Now, here we go. And Lincoln with the catch. Lincoln with a man to beat. Touchdown, Alabama. And Sean Sharp. I almost said Shannon Sharp. 4 completions, 6 attempts, 133 yards, 4 touchdowns. And so far, this Alabama Crimson Tide team has held Georgia to just 3 points here in the first half. Georgia's got to wake up and figure something out. And so now, here we go now. First and 10. Ball on the Georgia 14-yard line. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to go here. And Potts going to throw it out to his running back. His running back gets tackled almost immediately. 2nd and 10, no gain on the play. And Bauman, that almost looked like intentional grounding there by the quarterback. This Georgia offensive line having no answers for this Alabama front four. And what's up, primetime Sean Sanders? Glad to have you on, man. Prime, if you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, we are in Athens, Georgia for this Battle of Unbeatens. And Prime, I lost a subscriber. I'm now down to 375. So, and now Sharp's going to pitch it out to Browning. Browning's going to juke. And now Alabama single back formation now. And excellent route running there. I don't know. Someone unsubscribed. I don't know if it was Mad Martin or if it was Matt Storm or if someone just didn't like my comment or content. I don't know. But hopefully we get them back. And so Sean Sharp unloading as we're almost in blowout territory here with 2 minutes before the 2-minute warning. I still can't believe Myles Garrett is a Ram. Can you imagine if Myles Garrett went to the Chargers? Him and Khalil Mack, just saying. And A.J. Brown is now a Patriot, but there's rumors that Stephon Diggs may sign with Kansas City. And now here we go. Oh, what a immaculate reception. Georgia, that ball was stripped. And the 7th sack of the ball game. And now, Sean Potts, fumble, and Alabama recovers it. Gio Ramsor, the man who forced the fumble on that play. And 1:18 left to go here. Oh my God. Calvin Macklin for Georgia. He was coming in hot, man. And Alabama's just content to run the ball here. And if I'm Georgia, this is not what I want happening to my defense. It's getting wore down here by just this power running here. I mean, they got someone and they got 2 first-round draft picks. And, let's be honest. As much as I love Shedeur Sanders, I don't think the Browns are going to win a Super Bowl anytime soon. Because that franchise is just like the Cincinnati Bengals. You can draft all this great talent, but if the coach's offensive system isn't working and you have bad ownership, I mean, look at the Washington Redskins. They were owned by Dan Snyder for years, and they had phenomenal quarterbacks like Robert Griffin III, Rex Grossman, Kirk Cousins, and you also had, Chris Cooley, Santana Moss. You had great players. And yes, you brought, Joe Gibbs to come back and coach. But by the time Joe Gibbs came back to coach in the NFL, the game had passed him by. I mean, it wasn't the 1980s no more. Everyone could figure out his offense and defense. And I don't think A.J. Brown's going to help out New England either. Look, he was a cancer for Philadelphia. He has his Super Bowl. I think, he may pop off and he may have a great year, but I don't think he knows what he signed up for by going to New England and having to play the Buffalo Bills twice a year. And speaking of Buffalo, I don't think they did Sean McDermott right. You don't fire a head coach just to hire the offensive coordinator. That sits wrong with me. McDermott had that team in the playoffs back-to-back years. And yes, in those years, they ran into their kryptonite, the Kansas City Chiefs. And the one time that Kansas City isn't in it, they get beat. I still think Josh Allen can win a Super Bowl. I still think Lamar Jackson can still win a Super Bowl. It just depends on if both quarterbacks put in the work. Now, Lamar Jackson, I think this is his last year, or this is a make or break year for Lamar Jackson, because you just signed him to that massive deal, and he's been injured, and you got to pay Zay Flowers, you got to pay Derrick Henry, and you have to retool that defense, but I don't know if Baltimore can win with Lamar Jackson. He's a great regular season quarterback, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to the playoffs, he chokes. I mean, I think him and Josh Allen are going up against his generation's Joe Montana and Tom Brady, because Patrick Mahomes, out of the three quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes has one more Super Bowl more than some Hall of Famers are already like, oh, I don't know, Drew Brees. He's the first quarterback since Tom Brady to actually win multiple Super Bowls in this era. I think DJ Moore can help. I think DJ Moore gives Josh Allen another weapon, but I think Josh Allen misses Stephon Diggs, and I think Stephon Diggs should either go to Kansas City or go back to Buffalo, because him and Allen had that connection, man. They were an unstoppable duo together when Diggs was healthy. And I really have to wonder, is there bad blood between Buffalo and Stephon Diggs? And, I also have to wonder, will Kyler Murray do well in Minnesota? Murray is battling J.J. McCarthy for that starting job. And we could see J.J. McCarthy being a one-and-done draft pick, being a bust. Because if Kyler Murray goes in, has a great camp, has a great OTA, and has a great preseason, Kyler Murray could be that breath of fresh air. And I think the difference between Arizona and Minnesota is that Minnesota actually wants to win a Super Bowl. Arizona just wants to win football games and put people in seats. Because Arizona is a place where players go to just be average, be mediocre. Look, the two greatest Arizona players to come out of that franchise are Kurt Warner and Larry Fitzgerald. Technically, Kurt Warner won his first Super Bowl, his only Super Bowl with the Rams, but still. I mean, he almost had Arizona winning their first Super Bowl when they faced Pittsburgh. And a full quarterback room. You have Aaron Rodgers, you have Will Howard, you have Mason Rudolph, and you have Drew Aller, the rookie out of Penn State. And I don't see Pittsburgh winning a Super Bowl. Now, I could be wrong. We don't know how this season's going to play out. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, but I would love to see Aaron Rodgers get his ride off into the sunset moment, winning his final Super Bowl. But Pittsburgh is in a division where Baltimore is returning a nasty defense and a nasty offense, where Cincinnati still has Joe Burrow and his two wide receivers. And then you got Cincinnati, who will probably be the easiest win, that Pittsburgh has because they no longer have Myles Garrett. Yes, the Cleveland Browns got someone in return, but he's not on Garrett's level. And let's be honest, do you guys think that Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders have enough weapons on offense that could keep up with Pittsburgh or Baltimore? Hell no. And, you know, I'm surprised that Deshaun Watson's even still in the league. Man's been injured for almost 2.5 years. The only other team that I could see really competing with the Rams for a Super Bowl title, it's not my Chiefs, it's not the Bills, it's certainly not the Patriots. You're exactly right. You know, Joe Burrow could be our Dan Marino. You know, I think Joe Burrow and Josh Allen could be our Dan Marino. I mean, Joe Burrow, ever since he got hurt, he hasn't looked the same. And I don't know if it's just he doesn't want to get hurt or if he's not completely healthy. But, I mean, Burrow is still young. He still has youth on his side. He's only like, 25, 26 years old? I mean, he's still young. And I certainly think that, you know, I'm really wondering if this is going to be Derrick Henry's last season. Because Derrick Henry wasted his best years with the Tennessee Titans, and he's now with Baltimore, and Baltimore continues to rely on him way too much. Is Henry a sure ballot Hall of Famer? Yes, he is. The only thing that's missing from King Henry's resume is a Super Bowl trophy. Now, do I think Seattle's going to repeat? No. I think Seattle's going to absolutely get destroyed by San Francisco, and I think it's going to come down to the Rams and the 49ers who win the NFC West. Quite frankly, I'm hoping the Rams destroy the 49ers because I don't want to see Brock Purdy in another Super Bowl again. And there's a flag on the play. I don't know if it was pass interference or if it was holding Velasquez. Oh, Velasquez, you dick. My center didn't stay. But the teams that I'm looking forward to seeing take that next step are the Washington Commanders. I think Jalen Daniels and Scary Terry McLaurin could bring a Lombardi trophy back to Washington if that team can avoid the injury bug and if they can play their hearts out. Otherwise, we're going to see Dan Quinn fired again. And big shout out to Primetime Sean Sanders. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining me, Primetime and I are talking the NFL. Yeah, I thought Nick Sirianni was a one-and-done coach. You know, I don't think Sirianni and Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator, are going to be there. And, you know, I'm surprised the Eagles didn't draft another quarterback because Jalen Hurts, I think, has gotten too comfortable as the quarterback for Philadelphia. Yes, he's won one Super Bowl, but bro should be trying to win another. You know, I mean, you know, that's what happens with the Eagles because the Eagles won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. Then they fell off, and then Foles got let go. Jalen Hurts has won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. He's been to 2 Super Bowls and only won 1. And, you know, I don't think the Giants are going to win their division this year. I think the Eagles' only competition is going to be the Washington Commanders or the Dallas Cowboys. And look, the Cowboys surprised me last year. Dak Prescott had an MVP-type season last year. If he can repeat that, and if they can stay healthy, and if their defense and their offense click at the same time and they get red hot, we could see Dallas finally breaking their curse, you know. And yeah, exactly, Prime. The Eagles got all the talent in the world, but they got no coaching. I mean, Saquon, like, the whole reason they won a Super Bowl was because of Saquon Barkley. They had a rusher who could run the ball and pound the rock. And if you notice last year, they didn't rely on Saquon's so much. They tried to rely on Jalen Hurts, and that's why they didn't even do well in the playoffs. They got booted in the first round. And right now, the Georgia Bulldogs are getting beat 63-3. Now, you're probably wondering who I'm going to pick to win the NBA Finals. I think the New York Knicks are going to win their first championship in 53 years in 4 games. Because they beat San Antonio for the middle of the season championship. I think Dallas has the defense that could make it to the NFC Championship game. I actually, in my 2 early season prediction, I think it'll be Dallas versus the Rams in the NFC Championship game. Now, on the flip side, in the AFC Championship game, I have my Chiefs and this is going to surprise some people. I have my Chiefs and I have the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship this year. And now we got the second string quarterback in the ballgame now. Touchdown. I know it's hard. Look, Mike Brown is a good coach. He's a damn good coach. He just can never seem to win the big one. But I think the way that you beat San Antonio is you beat up on Wemby. You get physical, and you get Wemby into foul trouble early. You take away Wembyana, and the Spurs don't have anyone who can really lead them and give them that extra oomph. And plus, let's not forget about Danhausen's curse. Danhausen has cursed the Spurs. So will the curse continue? Glad to have each and every one of you, ladies and gentlemen, watching around the world here. And Georgia's still trying to get something going here. You know, I would love to see someone that hasn't won a Super Bowl pop off. And the only team that I can really see this year, if they play well and if they play up to their potential like they did last year, is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, man, that dude is a beast. He's entering, you know, championship quarterback material. I think Trevor Lawrence. If that team can stay healthy, and I think they had a really good draft too. I think they got better on both sides of the ball. I mean, hell, last year they came into Kansas City and they beat Kansas City. And Georgia now getting man-on-man coverage now against my corners. And Georgia's playing for pride right now. And they go with the option. And it's been reported that Patrick Mahomes is targeting to start week 1. The man is a freak. He's superhuman. And so now here we go, Georgia. They're going to go for another field goal here. And again, Georgia gets their second field goal of the ball game. As it's now 70-6. Dude, the Rams are the heavy favorite to make it to the Super Bowl, and especially if Matt Stafford has another MVP season like he did last year. And I don't think Atlanta's going to trade Kyle Pitts. Yeah, but you have to remember one thing here about the Rams. Their quarterback is old and is fragile. Their quarterback, just like Pittsburgh, one hit can end him. And there's a flag on the play. An unnecessary roughness there. And yes, Myles Garrett is a beast. But I think the thing that is suspect for the Rams is their offensive line. I don't think their offensive line is good enough to keep Stafford upright through the 18-game schedule. I mean, we'll find out, you know. So now here we go. And the freshman, Vernon Paris, getting the rock now. Also, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you want a good energy drink or a good supplement that will help you stay up, Dubby is a great supplement to try. They are not a sponsor. You can find W in your local Walgreens, Walmart, or Target. All right, we're going to give a mercy rule to Georgia. And so Georgia absolutely gets dominated at home as the Alabama Crimson Tide rolls to the tune of 76-13. Sean Sharp, the junior from Roanoke, Virginia, 359 yards, 36% completions, 9 touchdowns. And this Alabama spread offense cooks the Georgia Bulldogs. And so moving right along, we're moving to week 4 now. I honestly agree with you. I don't know what possessed Atlanta to hire Kevin Stefanski, especially since Baker Mayfield plays for Tampa Bay, and I mean, we'll find out. I think Stefanski gets fired if they lose their first 4 games. But, I mean, we'll see. Tua Tagovailoa is going to be the new quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. And so, with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's where I'm going to end it. Please click like and sub to Primetime Sean Sanders. Please click like and sub to the Brooklyn Joker. And Prime, thank you for joining me on this college football roundtable. And I will see you guys later today. Same breakdown time, same breakdown place. Get some sleep, everyone.